Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have a pretty interesting topic to go and cover. As you guys probably know, the PlayStation 5 Pro has been pretty sought after. As of right now, we've been seeing massive sales, and I've even been kind of mentioning and looking at my own affiliate links, which are all linked down below in case you guys do want to pick up the PS5 Pro, where there has just been a lot of people picking up the console. A lot more than expected, and in all honesty, it's even outselling the current Xbox. Where right now, we even made a video last night talking about the fact that the PS5 Pro is outselling the normal PlayStation 5 and Xbox, and even the brand new Switch. And what I mean by brand new is 7 years old. I don't know why I said that, but whatever, is going with it. So when it comes to this stuff, we've kind of been seeing that the PlayStation's been doing relatively well. But right now, there's always been that big debate between the PlayStation and PC. Now, we've kind of beaten that horse down a little bit. I could maybe work in one or two more videos on it, but right now, a lot of folks are kind of on that same mindset. PlayStation 5 Pro, utilizing AI, having a good overall, efficient hardware, is optimized pretty well. A lot of old school games are out there, and of course PlayStation exclusives, while PC has things like still having Game Pass on Microsoft's Xbox Store, as well as also having Steam, other various games like League of Legends that I'm addicted to. It's really bad, I know, I understand, World of Warcraft, all of that. So people are kind of saying, hey, PC has its merits. But one thing we haven't seen pushed too much as of per recently is the handheld gaming alternative. Now, we already know the Steam Deck exists, we know things like the Lenovo Go exist, a lot of other various handheld consoles are always kind of somewhat becoming the wave. I'd probably even say those handheld consoles are somewhat more affluent than even at this point VR. It kind of took over its place for that niche gaming side. So we're going to go talk about the fact and the comparison for the PS5 Pro and comparing that to the actual handheld devices. And I'm going to want to hear your thoughts and comments and everything down below. So make sure you guys are subscribed for our PS5 Pro giveaway if you just want to get one for free. Subscribe here, notifications on, the second YouTube channel linked down below, and the Twitters down below as well. To follow in the Twitch as well, all linked down below. And of course, as I mentioned, we have all the affiliate links down below if you guys do want to pick up your own PS5 Pro. And of course, as well, I just appreciate you all very much for watching here in the first place. So as I mentioned, handheld gaming is becoming the big thing. The Switch kind of set the precedent, but we've even had things like the PSP, PS Vita back in the day, things like having to have the old school Game Boys, or as well Steam Deck kind of bring it to next level. A lot of PC companies kind of stepping up too as well to integrate that into the more day-to-day life. But the PS5 Pro is apparently going to be that big fodder between the two, because price point wise it's actually pretty much very similar. Now, we've had people on the PC side debate this $700 console versus $700 PC. Usually the console wins, but the handheld devices can sometimes be around that price point or even a little bit cheaper and might even be comparable. Now, it may not be as good, but it's also mobile and has its own basically other benefits. So see, I avoided the PS5 in fear of the PS5 Pro, and now they're actually even avoiding the PS5 Pro as well, interestingly enough. Saying, hello there, proud non-owner of a PS5 here, that very cocky boyo, saying not because of my alliance lies with Xbox or Nintendo, but because they've been lying in wait like a soap opera villain, waiting to menacingly cackle at those foolish enough to spend $500 on Sony's 9th generation console. When the PS5 Pro launches on November 7th, the wait will finally come to an end. I've been a console gamer for decades now, and that kind of historic knowledge has allowed them to see one thing clearly, that they're basically saying that game consoles are falling off, which is not necessarily wrong. PlayStation 5's been doing great, Switch is doing great, Xbox, okay, we're not going to say it's bad, but it could definitely be better. But I do want to agree that we've been seeing a lot more push on PC gaming, mobile gaming, on your phone, or if you even want to say the Switch if it's not for the console, but it makes sense. Saying, what was once the bastion of uncomplex gaming, consoles are now adopting all these laborious elements of maintaining a well-spec PC, though somehow losing out on any of the benefits, such as I've said before, having browsers, having Steam, having things like Game Pass. But I mean, you can do that on console, you know what I mean. Game consoles used to be simple, a multi-year platform that required you to put as much thought into upgrade specs and graphic settings as you would be blinking, breathing, and improvising. Basically saying you just turn on your console and it works, rather than having 3 different basic settings, or to go restaurant with resolutions, or all that. The most mentally taxing part of owning an Xbox or PlayStation was thinking up replies to mean-spirited PC gamers who would mock you for your limited frame rates or lower resolutions. Nowadays, the game console landscape has shifted considerably. The pulsalute of paid online multiplayer has proliferated and spread, snowballing into microtransactions, $70 games, and digital-only consoles that shirk the responsibilities that these platforms had in the first place for physical media. And it might eventually work out better for the environment or some whatever random things people go and say, for maybe things for server upkeep, digital downloads, even having more plastic, whatever it might be, who knows. People are still trying to figure out what's the big benefit for it. But now there's kind of saying for this one that the PS5 Pro is the problem. Getting into the nitty gritty important stuff here. Saying perhaps the most egregious of sins in the modern era is the mid-cycle refresh, a way for some console kings to mock their most loyal subjects by rewarding their crucial support during an initial launch window with the option of buying a new, more expensive model at an even larger asking price, basically saying, hey, you buy your PS5, well, good luck buy a Pro in a few years. Or, hey, you buy an Xbox, get your next Xbox without a disk drive and a little bit more memory, which is kind of what happened as of right this second. So they're basically saying take away its improved graphical potential that developers will be hamstrung to take full use of thanks to the existence of the base PS5, the option to make all of your games faster and fuzzier thanks to Sony's DLSS like PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or its enhanced ray tracing and what's left. Tell you what, a $699 hardware remake of a console that came out 4 years ago, which if you kind of think about it now is still kind of a long time if you were a day one buyer. If you were year 2 or year 3 buyer, yeah, that's not as fun and you don't really appreciate that. Like, it just, that kind of makes sense. They're also saying too as well that like it's a cool idea, we like the console and their perspective, but is it really needed? Now I'm once again going to say I like it, I got one, I'm going to give one away. Like the PS5 Pro is some dope stuff, but it is, and I can agree, a little bit on the unnecessary side if you have a PS5. Although this is where their big comparison is on the handheld gaming. It's saying handheld gaming PCs are everything that consoles used to be. However, this corruption of a different game console market has me feeling nostalgia for something entirely different. The youthful nights of hiding under my duvet and searing away my corneas into the early hours while glued to my Game Gear. And I used to do the same thing. Have my laptop playing RuneScape late at night, or even trying to go get my random like DS and just having some backlight to go play some Pokemon or whatever. While something like the PS5 Pro has me turning away from consoles, I'm finding myself more and more attracted to the prospect of owning a handheld gaming PC like the Steam Deck or ROG Ally. So they're basically saying the PS5 Pro, unneeded, a little bit over expensive. If you have a PS5, it's already still going to be like mitigated and optimized for the PS5, which I would agree on. But I still think the improvements are nice. If you've never had a console so far, it seems like a good win. And at the same time, too, it is better specs. I like the AI integration. Like, I think it's kind of worth it, but I'm biased. I'm a little bit biased, but whatever, it's fine. Saying handheld gaming PCs now represent everything that consoles have lost or failed to implement. They're open, which basically means you can have things like, you could even like probably play PlayStation games, Steam games, Xbox games, Riot games, all that stuff on your handheld device, because it is technically a PC. Like, you can do everything on a PC you can do. Saying it's untethered as well, so you don't have to always be on like a desk or a couch setup or have things plugged on in necessarily. They also offer customizable gaming experiences through a wider selection of mods, which is a big thing. If you guys are PC users, mods are a big deal. You want to have mods. You can change things, add things for your Steam games, whatever, make them even better. And of course, as well, you're not locked to only using the PlayStation or Xbox ecosystem, which is some pretty good valid points. But at the same time, I will go and counterpoint on this one, is it does seem like the PS5 Pro will actually have better specs than most handheld devices. Now, I could be wrong. There's going to be a few that might have insanely good specs, but for the $700 price tag, I do think the PS5 Pro is probably going to win out. Mainly because a lot of games will also be optimizing the game better on the console, so at this point, I'd probably still be leaning towards the PS5 Pro. But I'm not going to say that I wouldn't want to have a handheld device, because it does fit a lot of good niches. Although usually for me, I game and do so much stuff. Like I'm on Twitch a lot. I'm doing YouTube videos. I'm doing reviews. So I'm usually on my setup quite a bit, like quite often. So I don't always need to be even playing more games in my bed. But that just may be a difference. Maybe if you're working like a normal 9-to-5 job and you're working hard, you sometimes want to maybe lay in your couch and lay in your bed or sit outside and go play a random game. And I'm not going to judge you for that at all. I totally get it. So furthermore, they have a library of games that dwarf other platforms. And as a PC as a whole, I agree. While giving access to them at a much lower prices from multiple sellers, and if that's not enough, PC gamers get treated to all the free spoils from storefronts, like you basically get a bunch of free games from Epic Games Store, Good Old Games, or even sometimes like the Humble Bundle for charity. So they basically kind of say like you can get way good deals. And I'd actually probably say that's a big merit for handheld devices. Steam has sales all the time. You also have a lot more free-to-play games like CSGO, having things like Rocket League. These are also sometimes, on these consoles too, but more the player base sometimes is on PC. Things even like League of Legends, people are playing. Things like Valorant, people are playing. And now, once again, some of these might be on console or will come to console, but that is a big merit. Like bigger sales, cheaper digital downloads, everything collected all at once, easier to bounce around to different places. I can kind of see the point they're trying to go make. But it depends, because I kind of feel like console gamers are slightly different than mobile gamers. Maybe for the Switch or PC comparison, but I do want to say there's an overlap, but not as much as people expect. A lot of console people I know like to sit on their couch, relax, and vibe. It's not that you can't do this with a handheld device, it's just a slightly different vibe with a little bit more effort into it, and some people just don't mind. Like some people do just like plugging things in and going from there. saying there will never be a gaming PC 2 like there might be a PlayStation 6. Saying before you call me out on it, I'm already aware of my own hypocrisy. While I can look at the PS5 Pro and be turned away from a mid-cycle refreshers, handheld gaming PCs like the original ROG Alloy are already receiving their own just 1 year from the form of the ROG. Yeah, which is kind of crazy too, because they're trying to update stuff, and usually PC specs do get not optimized very quickly. Like they get outdated. When I counter that, there'll never be a gaming PC 2 that I have to worry about sneaking up on the horizon, basically saying it's kind of like an iPhone. You get an iPhone 15, you know the 16's coming soon, you know the 17's coming soon. They're going to be pretty similar, maybe better battery life, maybe small big changes, but it's going to have a camera. You can go on Twitter on it. It's not a big deal. And that kind of makes sense though too. That's kind of, you buy what you get and you're kind of stuck with it. It's like buying a gaming PC or like a gaming laptop. You get it as you can, which I can kind of go and get. But I'd say almost the PS5 would do the same thing. Plus, I will admit the fast and frenzied releases in the handheld gaming PC world can make it a little harder to know when it's safe to jump into these bandwagons, which I also agree though too as well, because they are more hardcore. But I'm going to be, if I want to go handheld, I'm probably going to wait for the Steam Deck too, because I already have all these games on Steam anyway, so why the heck not? But they're basically trying to go make a point on having a handheld gaming device. In all honesty, I think they're both kind of wins. Console gaming makes a lot of sense as of right now, but I do think there's a nicer vibe of having a slightly more, like, I guess, optimized, AI integrated, and also your friends might be playing on too as well with PlayStation exclusives. I think it kind of still sells itself. So I have all the affiliate links down below if he's going to want to go buy one, like me. But I do want to say there is also some pretty good vibes when it comes to handheld devices. If you guys ever want to hear more about handhelds, let me know. But they do kind of make kind of a good case for it. Cheaper games, you also have more options on games, and as well, if you like the mobile vibe, something to maybe go consider at the end of the day. So I want to say they're wrong, but it's really more based on preferences at the end of the day, so keep that how you will. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments on everything down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, especially for the PS5 Pro giveaway. We have the Twitters down below, the Twitch down below, and all that good stuff, and I appreciate you all very, very much for watching here in the first place.